Hello, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. My name is Sean. This is twitch.tv/SeanOSaursRex, and it is finally over. All the E3 press conferences are finally done. Welcome to Halo 5. Welcome to E3 reaction. Hang on, I have to find what page I wrote all my notes on. So, in Halo 5 SWAT, it's a ranked game, so you need to do 10 matches to get a rank. So I'm going to try and get through all my E3 stuff before the 10 matches are up. We'll go in order, and we'll actually start with something that I forgot to mention last week, which is the... how do I turn my keyboard off? Just move it out of the way, I guess. Sorry, I don't have a great... Pardon me, setup for this. We'll start with the thing that I forgot. The thing I forgot was the THQ Nordic 3-on-3, which sounds like a basketball tournament. Or maybe I did talk about them. Shoot, I don't remember. Ooh, I remember making the basketball tournament joke at some point. Fuck. Doesn't matter. They revealed their stuff Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and we actually got a look at 3 unannounced games. And the first was, shockingly, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, which is awesome because Battle for Bikini Bottom is a well-loved game. Just people really like it. Remember when I said we were going to do 10 matches? Lol. But what's cool is I was reading an article about it, and the way they were talking about it, it sounds like not only are they remastering the game, but they're going to bring back content that was cut from the game. Like there's a like a Squidward robot boss fight they got cut from the game, and they're going to put that back in, and that is totally awesome. So I'm very excited about that. That was one of the more surprising E3 announcements. The other two games they announced were some Dark Souls game that I didn't care about, and Destroy All Humans remake, which is like, whatever. Not for me. So that was your pre-E3 stuff. There was some Stadia junk, but I personally don't care about Stadia and streaming. I think it's a lot of overblown... To quote Shaun of the Dead, it's a lot of overblown nonsense. The infrastructure isn't there in America, and the data caps aren't there in America, and it's for a very specific group of people. I am not that person because I don't care that much. I'll play on a console. It's not that big of a deal, and I don't travel enough for it to warrant any sort of drop the volume a little bit. Actually, no. Go right there. Right there. That's fine. Okay, I died. Where? Oh, hang on. I gotta move myself up. There. So Stadia, not for me. Oh god, I'm sure that's exciting. Fuck. Cool. 5-0. Dope. 3 kills for that one guy. So. That was embarrassing. So Stadia doesn't really speak to me, which is totally fine. Fuck. Okay, I have not played Halo 5 in a very long time. So, we'll see. Obviously it's not going well. Fudge. Who's -1? And how did that guy die? Oh, my hands are all backwards on what controls to push. Because I play a Master Chief Collection with a different set of controls. Because I am V-Smart. Oh, that's how you go -1. So that was like a cool way to start E3 off with like a very unexpected, random sort of thing. THQ Nordic has like 200 games or something nuts. You can tell that my controls are backwards. Fuck, we suck. I would have loved like a Time Splitters remaster, but you know, sometimes you just gotta take your Battle for Bikini Bottoms and call it good, you know? Fuck off. Fuck. Perfect. Wow, that was surprising that I got that. So then E3 started off with, what's it called? EA. And I didn't watch much of their conference. I watched their Star Wars presentation, and it actually looked pretty cool. I thought it was a good presentation, just because it showed a lot of gameplay. Like it was like a canned gameplay demo, but it was like, 10 minutes, so that was pretty good. I'm actually kind of interested in it, despite not really being a Star Wars guy, which is totally fine. I played Battlefront 2, and I thought it was fine. I liked the story, and I liked the character, even if the quote-unquote twist was incredibly predictable. It kind of needed to be like that. Yeah. I like that it's canon. We'll probably never see this character again. Whoops. Just in case you're curious, the worst score I've ever seen in a Halo game is 50-12. So might be tied for the okay. But other than that, I didn't watch any of the EA stuff. I think EA needs to get a lot of credit. Needs to get a lot of credit for being super transparent. I disagree with that they didn't have much new stuff. 38-15. God damn. Those two guys are right there. Take a seat. Damn it, that was almost an overkill. For being transparent, even though they didn't really have a whole lot to show. They showed some new content for The Sims, which is cool. Not my cup of tea, but I'm sure Sims fans are happy with that. Yeah. So, EA, whatever. They're not really for me. But what was for me was Microsoft, which is the next conference that was up right after that lag, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And Microsoft's big question with E3 this year was how much of their next Xbox would they reveal, and they didn't reveal. I mean, they talked a lot in technical terms with it, but they didn't reveal a whole lot. It's still under the code name of Project Scarlet, which is fine, but it gave a release date of holiday 2020, and I thought Microsoft conference was very, very good. They came out, they showed a lot of games, they gave Outer Worlds a release date, which is huge. I wrote hell yes. For games that I thought were interesting, I wrote hell yes, kind of. Bleeding Edge looked kind of interesting. There's a June 27th alpha. Ori finally got a release date. They announced Minecraft Dungeon. The one criticism I would give is that they put that they were playing, or that they were showing 60 games. A lot of those games were in the ID at Xbox montage, and they don't do a good job of telling you what they are. It's just a montage of games for 5 to 10 seconds with maybe their logo in the corner, and then they move on and do something else. That really sucks because ID at Xbox gets kind of buried anyway, and so it feels like these games are already starting a little bit farther back. It doesn't seem like they get promoted as much on the store. I wish there was a better way to do that. Maybe if they curated the store a little bit more, and really, I know they have a highlights section in the store, but it would be helpful if they were a little more. My thought was, nice slide, douchewad. My thought was maybe instead of doing a montage. Hey, here's 5 games that we really want to highlight. Here are 5 games we think you're really going to care about. Give them 1-minute trailers. Make sure they have release dates. Because they said a lot of them were going to be Xbox Game Pass day and date, day 1 stuff. They said that there were going to be 34 games that were day 1 Game Pass. That's super awesome. I don't know what those games are. They added a bunch of games, by the way, like the previous day. Supermarket Shriek and another game that I can never remember the title of came out at E3, and there was no mention of it. So, good luck. I mean, I don't think you're going to get anybody new in. You're just going to get previous subscribers continuing to use the service. They announced it for PC, which is pretty cool. Or, I'm sorry, they announced Xbox Game Pass for PC. And unfortunately, while they did talk about the Master Chief Collection, Halo Reach, they did not release it on the day. So my lone hope was dashed. One of the coolest moments of E3 happened at Microsoft conference. Keanu Reeves came out, and not only is he in Cyberpunk 2077, but he announced the release date, and it comes out in April of 2020. That's freaking awesome. Cyberpunk looks really, really cool. Hopefully that date sticks. I kind of doubt that it does, though. They are a team that will take their time, and I'm sure they have the leniency to take their time because The Witcher 3 was so well received. And I'm sure they don't want to tarnish their good name by releasing a subpar product. So that one is, I wrote it down here, April 16th. And then I said Outer Worlds got a release date. That's October 25th, which I'm very excited for. I died. I looked away and I walked into that and died. Huh, it's really warm in here, by the way. So, yeah. It is so hot in here. Let's see. Are there any other highlights here? Oh, they announced Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which contains Game Pass for console and for PC, and Xbox Live Gold, all for $14.99 a month. That's a tremendous deal. Damn it. Why? Will you? Thank you. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? They bought, let's see, Xbox bought Double Fine. They showed a really interesting game called 12 Minutes. That game looks awesome. I had seen it before. They did it on Kind of Funny. They had, I think, like a Let's Play of it, I want to say. And that game looks very interesting. It's like a story-based thriller sort of situation. I don't know. It's man, it's a lot harder to talk and play games than I would have imagined. It does not help when it's awful in here. What am I doing here? Thank you. Fuck off. I'm so annoyed with myself. I used 2 different control sets and it's driving me insane. Oh, speaking of control sets, they announced a new... I need to fix how I'm talking about these conferences. They talked about a new Elite controller. I have debated buying the first version of the Elite controller, and this one seems like it's improved in all the right ways. It comes with like an internal battery. There's a lot more customization options to it, it looks like. It does retail for $180. It's available in November. They did not say either of those things in the press conference. They were like, it's available later in 2019, and they did not give a price, so... So, there you go. Shit, man. What else? Psychonauts 2. They talked about okay. So Dying Light 2 is still in development. And then 3 more things. Actually, I'm sorry, 4 more things I want to hit on really quickly. The first 2 are really cool DLCs for State of Decay 2 and Forza Horizon 4. State of Decay 2 is getting a DLC called Heartland. You're going back to the original map from the first State of Decay. State of Decay 2 is a good game. I didn't get into it as much as I did the first game, which is totally fine. But the Forza Horizon 4 DLC is Lego themed, and Horizon has had some incredible DLC expansions. As we look at my 9/9, that's not bad. Forza Horizon 3 had the Hot Wheels DLC, which is one of my favorite DLC expansions of all time. I love it. It's so weird and wacky and wonderful. And this was something I talked about on the Week in Review, where I was like, what are they going to do? Like, what kind of weird, crazy expansion can they do with this game? Like, how do you top Hot Wheels? Well, the only thing you could really do is Lego. Like, it's that level of, like, crazy and insane, but still, like, silly, fun, and different. And so, both of those are going to be featured on the stream this weekend. Forza Horizon 4's DLC is going to be on Saturday. State of Decay 2's DLC is going to be on Sunday. From what I can tell, the State of Decay 2 DLC does not come with the Ultimate Edition of the game, which is a bummer, considering that I bought the Ultimate Edition of the game. It's only an extra $10. It's not that big of a deal. It is also available through Game Pass, but it is still one of those things where it's like, I bought the Ultimate Edition. I wish this was part of that deal. I don't know about the Forza Horizon 4 DLC. It's not available until Thursday. So that's that one is up in the air. One of my biggest surprises with the Microsoft conference was how little information we got about Gears of War, or Gears 5. They're not even calling it Gears of War. They're just calling it Gears 5. My expectation, I'm not a Gears fan, so this isn't necessarily a negative, but it's... Oh, pardon me. My expectation was that Gears 5 would have a lot more time dedicated to it. That felt like a game that they were going to come out and be like, hey, here's 15, 20 minutes. We want to talk about what we're doing. We want to talk about the story beats, the multiplayer, like maybe a beta, and then maybe a new mode or something. They got a new mode for it. What's it called? Shoot, I wrote it down. Escape, which didn't look super great. I didn't think the trailer was very good. They also said that Terminator was going to be available with pre-order, and Terminator ended up being a theme of E3 this year, which was odd. And they'll be talking about Horde mode at Gamescom. But there was no story demo, and I was really surprised with that. And it's something I'm sure I'll talk about later, but it's a lot of these companies have other conferences or stream events that they do throughout the year. So Xbox has Inside Xbox, Nintendo has Nintendo Direct, Sony has State of Play. I want to say there's like one more, but they don't necessarily need to show everything at E3. I was really surprised. It seems like Gears of War is the game that they would come out and be like, this is our big holiday game, and we want... Oh my god. What an idiot fight. What an idiot fight. This is our big holiday game. Here's a big information dump. And I don't think they really nailed it all that well from that. But I don't know. I also don't know exactly what Gears of War fans want and how they felt about 4, because I don't follow the franchise. So I don't know. The final piece of the Microsoft conference was a fantastic Halo Infinite trailer that, oh my god. Halo Infinite is launching alongside the next Xbox next holiday season. And the trailer was great. It was all like a rendered cutscene sort of thing, but it was like surprisingly emotional, where this guy's like been on this ship for however many years, and just the way they used, he has like a little echo thing on the floor, where it's like a message from like his wife and his kid, and the way they zoomed in, they panned down onto the floor with this thing, with this message playing, and the way they pan around, and as they're panning around, time is passing, but it's hard to tell because you're so focused on the hologram, was really awesome. They've talked about Halo Infinite being a soft reboot of the franchise, which is totally fine with me. But now I know I have until next holiday. Jeez, I almost didn't see that guy. He almost had the jump on me, but then didn't. I just played on this map, by the way. So that is really cool to know that Halo Infinite is coming out next holiday season. I didn't think we were really going to see anything at Halo. It makes sense that we did, because Halo is obviously their flagship franchise, not even like first person shooter franchise, like just franchise in general. To think that they have a Halo and a, well, no, that makes more sense. Never mind. That sentence was going to sound real dumb if anyone like thought about it for more than about 10 seconds. It's like, yeah, they usually change those up. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Xbox had a really good conference. I thought they showed a lot of stuff that I was excited for. They kept the flow going, which was nice. Nothing really felt like it was too long. There was maybe like a little bit of a lull when they were talking about the Xbox Game Pass coming to PC, but that's important information for people who play on PC. It was also a thing that was heavily rumored. I'm a little thrown off, but not necessarily disappointed by the lack of years. It was just something I thought we would see more of. I think it's great that we saw Infinite, because I didn't think we were going to see Infinite. And knowing that there's a new Xbox coming in like a year is really cool. So I thought, for me, Xbox gave the best conference. I don't think any of them were like overwhelming. Jeez Louise. I don't think any of them were overwhelmingly good. I think that there were some that just had stuff that spoke more to me. And this would be that conference. Okay. That's a lot of words. I need to speed this up here. Long-winded today. It's not what I need to be at. What is it, 10, 12 at night? Okay. The only conference that's not going to get talked about is going to be Devolver's, because I didn't watch it. I caught part of it. It's super weird. It was, from what I saw, it was good. Devolver also tends not to have like a lot of dates with their stuff. I don't know. It seems like they're more about. That was really bad. Is more about the experience than the like the content stuff. So let's see. So after that was Bethesda, and I thought Bethesda's conference was very good. They came out and talked let me look at my notes here real quick. Okay. Some guy, one of the quotes they put in the brief trailer they had for Rage 2 said FPS porn, which was pretty good. So we'll talk about 4 things real quick from the Bethesda conference. The first one is Rage 2 DLC is coming out. What'd they say? Area story. Okay, just kidding. Didn't actually write a date with that. I think it's fall. I don't know if they gave a date. I didn't realize I didn't write that down. My nose has been bugging me all freaking day. So the expansion's gonna have, I wrote some guy, new everything, like cheats, cars, enemies, area, story. Probably enough to get me back into Rage 2. Rage 2 was a game that I liked, but I just wasn't overwhelmingly thrilled about. Let's see, what was the other thing? Okay. Item number 3. We'll count down. Number 3 was Tango Gameworks Ghostwire Tokyo. The game looked cool, and the presenter was super awesome. She seemed super enthusiastic about her game, and she was the exact right person to come out and like announce a game. She came out and she was like super thrilled about it, and the game looked really cool and super interesting. I don't really know what it is. They said it was like an action adventure, kind of like survival horror sort of thing, which makes sense because Tango Gameworks did Evil Within and Evil Within 2, which are both survival horror games. So that makes sense. Trailer was cool. I liked what I saw of it. Number 2, Fallout 76. Fallout 76 has had a terrible run since launch. Everybody knows that. It's not a secret or a surprise to anyone. The amount of content they announced for this game feels two ways. One, it feels like a lot, and it's all free, and that's a very good thing. Two, it does kind of feel like they're just throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall, trying to see what sticks, and trying to maintain a player base long enough to get their bigger stuff done, or some type of sequel, or something like that. I thought the new update sounded really cool. They had a really nice spin to it. I don't think they thought that people would care about NPCs as much as the people did care. So for them to add NPCs, new questline, choices, consequences, and all that stuff that makes it feel way more like a Fallout game is great. I'm going to drop my camera here for 1 second. And that content's going to be available this fall. Hey, there I am. That content will be available this fall. It's, I don't know, it's really great. It's free. It's this fall. They also announced a new Battle Royale mode that has something to do with Vault 52. Not for me. Might check it out. There's a free trial of the game. You can play it right now from, I think they started it Monday. So the 10th through the 17th, I want to say, maybe the 15th, one of those 2 days, and you can try out the new game mode for free. So that was really good. The Fallout 76 content that they talked about enticed me enough to get the disc out to think about playing the game. There's a lot of other stuff going on, so it's like it's hard to tell if I'll get to it. But adding NPCs and having an actual quest line is super helpful for a person like me who doesn't want to just wander around a wasteland being like, oh, what do I do? Do I do this or this? Not my cup of tea. And I can't believe I forgot one more additional thing. So I guess it's technically going to be 5. Number 2, second time. Pardon me. Doom Eternal looks fucking incredible. That game looks awesome, and I can't wait to try out the dash ability. I feel like in a game like that, that's all around built all around speed, that's going to be super helpful. The game looked incredible. The multiplayer also seems like an improvement over the first one. I wrote, I can't wait to play in the helmet of the collector's edition, which sounds like a stupid, funny joke. But the multiplayer, it's called Battle Mode Multiplayer. It's a 2v1, 2 demons versus 1 slayer. And then I wrote that the multiplayer in the first game was dead because the multiplayer in the first game wasn't what Doom is, and this seems like it's more catered towards what the game Doom actually is. That's great. Could be interesting, could totally flop, doesn't matter. The game comes out in November, so it's hard to be terribly upset about that. It's November 22nd this year. So I have until... Does that not count? Oh, thank you. Thank you. And that was the final announcement. I'm sorry. That wasn't the final announcement. My favorite thing they showed at the Bethesda conference was Deathloop. And this is like the most like Sean trailer you could ever put together. Super weird sci-fi time loopy with like grindhouse style title cards, and it's just like, it's like someone said, hey Sean, here's a trailer that's just specifically for you, and that would be Time Loop, or Deathloop, excuse me. The game looks awesome. I'm not exactly sure what it is. You have 2 characters that are trying to kill each other for their own specific reason. One person is trying to disrupt what's going on. One person is trying to keep it the same. Sounds awesome. Dave Fennoy is one of the voices of the main characters. Hell yeah. Give it to me. I will play that. And that was my favorite thing I saw from Bethesda's conference. It might actually be my favorite thing I saw from, or saw of E3. It just came out of nowhere and it looked really cool. It was awesome. Oh, there's a guy over here. Where is he? There he is. That guy's got to be very confused because I can't believe I got that kill. Let's see. Really quickly, Limited Run Games did a conference Monday morning. Limited Run, if you don't know, they do limited runs of digital-only games on physical media. So, like, if it's a digital-only game, like Night in the Woods, which was the one announcement that really stuck with me. Night in the Woods is only available digitally, so they're releasing them physically on Switch and PlayStation 4. Pretty cool. It's a lot of announcements for games that I either didn't recognize or don't care about. Their conference was very low budget, and it fit with the theme of their stuff, like the games that they were working with, which is very like low budget indie stuff. But some of the audio was very bad. It wasn't a bad conference, but it was a conference where it was like, why are these trailers so long for games that are already out? So, I don't know. But it also isn't something that necessarily speaks to me, because they didn't put any out any games on physical media that I really cared about. So that was kind of like, whatever. Monday afternoon was Ubisoft. What? Okay. What's up, man? How you doing? Monday afternoon was Ubisoft, and their conference was weird. There wasn't anything that really stuck out to me. I thought Watch Dogs Legion looked cool. It's easy to get kind of caught up in the hype of that game because it's really ambitious and sounds super interesting. But at the same time, Watch Dogs games have been kind of ambitious before and not really ever stuck with me, so it's cautiously optimistic. Also, I don't know if you can drive a bus. It's set in London. You theoretically could drive a double-decker bus. I tweeted at them. They haven't responded. So maybe more people should ask. More people should ask that. But demo was cool. The idea behind it's interesting. Recruit people to take down like an extremist government. Interesting, simple story. You can recruit anybody. They can be like, oops. They can be like 25-year-old cafe waiters, or they can be 97-year-old grannies. And the grannies, I think, are winning because I've talked to a couple of people about that game, and everyone's like, yeah, I'm just going to use old women. It's like, all right, man, cool. That sounds pretty awesome. The Ubisoft conference was a little uneven because they had like 3 or 4 announcements that weren't game related. So they started with the Assassin's Creed Symphony, which was a weird start, kind of like a melancholy start where it didn't seem like it was a very bright tone. And they announced a world tour where you go listen to people play Assassin's Creed music. Not for me. I'm sure there are people out there that would pay to go see that. Totally cool. The stream I was watching Kind of Funny Games. This led Tim to talk about how they had a Final Fantasy Symphony or something bullshit, and 1/3 of it was a live orchestra, and the other 2/3 of it were just people, or were them playing files from the game over loudspeakers, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But they immediately followed up Watch Dogs Legion with Mythic Quest, which is a show on Apple Plus that is made by Rob McElhaney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's why it gets my attention at all. I love him and his style of comedy. I don't know why this was on stage. It didn't make any sense. Like, It just seemed really weird, and it seemed even weirder because that one's on Apple Plus, and then they announced a Division movie in partnership with Netflix. So it was kind of a bizarre thing. Two other quick things. The new operator looks dope. It's very Kingsman. In fact, when they were playing the music for for Rainbow Six, I was listening to it and I was like, God, that sounds so familiar. What is that? What is that noise? Like, what is that sound? What is that music from? And then everyone in the chat was like, oh my God, it's Kingsman. And I was like, that is exactly what it is. I actually thought it was going to be a tie-in because they're doing all kinds of... Oh, pardon me. They're doing all kinds of... Oh, okay. I really misunderstood what that was. I was like, this map isn't in Halo 2. All kinds of Kingsman content. They want to do a show. They're doing a prequel. They're doing a sequel. They're doing this, that, and the other thing with that franchise. Almost like no one watched the second movie and was like, oof, we should slow down on production of this stuff. Because the second movie was rough, quite frankly. Still liked it, but not nearly as good as the first. I think the first one also was a bit of a surprise. And then the last thing was Roller... What is it called? Roller Champions. Looks like it wants to be like a new Rocket League. It looks like, Tim mentioned it looked like Alita Battle Angel, the game. That's a pretty... I feel like it's a pretty accurate depiction. You roll around on a roller rink, scoring points, and I don't know. That one has an alpha going on. Something. 610 to 614. So, I don't know. Ubisoft, thankfully, was only like... mercifully an hour and 15 minutes, which was good. The Watch Dogs demo was strong. It looked cool. It got me intrigued in the game. I've kind of been burned by that franchise before, so it's hard to be too excited for it, but it's an interesting concept, and I'm curious to see what they do with it. That game comes out, I wrote it down, it comes out in March something, March 6th. I did write it down. Good for me. March 6th. So, mark that on your calendars. If I said it enough. So much stuff. So many games. I don't even know where to start. Next. It's always fun to me when I start talking and then I immediately, I get into a gunfight and I'm like, well. Yes, the double kill. That was not a jump. I didn't make it. Kind of funny, had their showcase at 4:30, which was... I had to kind of rush home for, and Kind of funny packaged their stuff really, really well. There's just a ton of indie games, and I didn't get a ton of dates written down for this. There were some highlights. One of them was Skateburb, which was like a super chill skateboarding game where it's a very small bird. It looks like the areas you skate in are made out of, are handcrafted. Almost kind of like a Crafted World style, where like the grind rails are, I didn't even get a shot there. They're like plastic straws, which is really cool. It's an interesting design choice. There's an alpha out now. You can try that. But let's see what else I wrote down. What did I write down? There was a game called Raw Men, which is spelled R-A-W-M-E-N. I don't know what that game is. It looked bizarre as hell, and I was like, well, I need to play this. So I wrote that. That got the hell yeah out of me. Oh my goodness. That was very bad. I also, fuck.
10 kills to win.
Where'd that guy go? Oh. I panicked and I hit the left stick to zoom in, because that's how the other controls are, and I just crouched. Missed him. Yeah. Yeah, double kill. Yeah, Ramen looked super weird. It looked really cool. I thought Kind of Funny did a great job of packaging their games and putting them, putting the montages with some sort of vocal backing to be like, this game is X, Y, and Z. Fuck. We should have. Disappointed in myself. Okay, made it up. Never mind. Not disappointed in myself at all. Police Story comes out on 9/19. That looked cool. That was like some type of game. A lot of these went by really, really quickly. The Gardens Between is on Xbox Game Pass right now. I had not seen a trailer for that. It looked awesome. Shoot, there was another one. Man, I don't even know. I didn't write as many hell yes. I wrote Terraman. I don't remember any of these. Oh, Lucifer Within Us Lucifer Within Us was probably the game that I was most excited about because it was a game where you have like each character's timeline and they have specific events that took them character A went and looked at a gravestone for 15 minutes. You have to put that somewhere, and then that character went and got ramen, and then that was like an hour. And so each character has a timeline, and you have to try and figure out who did what. Like, it seems like kind of like a whodunit sort of thing, but it was a really cool mechanic of trying to place the events in a day to make sense of it. That looked really, really cool. Half Past Fate was awesome. Yeah, that's like a rom-com game. Undying was a game that looked like basically a full-on version of The Walking Dead's first season's final episode. Mom Gets Bit has to protect her child. Deliver Us the Moon looked dope. You're in space. Hell yeah. And then Adam's Ascending, which is a game that they showed at the last press conference, and it's developed by a one-man team, and they had like a live-action trailer, and they were talking about how like live-action trailers never work. That's not how it happens. It's not going to work. And then the trailer was incredible, and I'm glad that they gave an update to that. I thought that was really cool. Hopefully they'll do a better job about following up with some of these games. I didn't write down a screenshot. I didn't write down a lot of dates. It didn't seem like a lot of games had dates. There were a couple that had like some alphas here and some demos out now, but those were pretty few and far between. They talked about 60 games. Hell yeah, that's awesome. I think I probably wrote down like 10 of them, maybe. So like a sixth of the games. That's really good.
Watch your head.
I don't know if I've ever played this game. So now we've come to Square Enix. And before the Square Enix conference started, my brother came in from work. He's like, hey man, you watching the finals? And I was like, no man, I'm going to watch the Square Enix press conference. I should have watched the NBA finals. This conference was a dull one. There was... Let's start with the positive. Start with the positive before I rip this fucking piece of shit to shreds. Actually, let me make a disclaimer first. Square Enix doesn't typically make games that I am super interested in. They are a Japanese company. They make a ton of JRPGs. That guy picked the exact correct time to boost. There we go. Really? Where's that guy? Where is he? Up here, man. I can't fire. The guy was standing still and it took me 3 shots. They don't make games that I'm super interested in, and that seems to be the consensus on... Well, I'm drawing my own conclusions. what I'm getting from this conference is highly divisive. If you're into this stuff, you probably loved it. If you weren't, you probably didn't. A lot of the other conferences stride that line. Even the Kind of Funny Games Showcase is... I walked right into that guy. I said, hey, you want a free point? A lot of the other conferences stride that line of like... Some of it was good, some of it was bad. You kind of pick and choose. That's totally fine. That's how it works. This is... Fuck. I need to switch my control set. Which is probably a bad idea at this point. I killed myself. Awesome. Okay, with that being said, they don't make games for me. They did a... I don't know. I don't even know how to start this. This conference was insanely boring. They started off strong with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I say that because it's astonishing that I care about Final Fantasy VII Remake. The Final Fantasy VII game is a game that, for whatever reason, when I was a kid, I always wanted to play. I don't know why, but I just never bothered with it. I would look at it at like a Fred Meyer and be like, I should get this. I should take it home and play it. Never did. So I've never been a Final Fantasy guy. The way they did the demo, and specifically the gameplay demo, was so well done. They went in depth with it in a way that was understandable to understand the changes they were making, why they were making them. They made me care about a game that I don't necessarily care about. That's super awesome. I thought the demo was interesting and well done. Square Enix could not be more confused about what the fuck this game is. They don't know. Like, they came out a long time ago, probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and came out and were like, we're remaking Final Fantasy VII. People fucking love Final Fantasy VII. They came out and they said, hey, well, it's going to be episodic. And people went, ooh, that's probably not your best decision. That's super weird. Why are you making it episodic? I am 3 and 12. This garbage ass, stupid frickin' pistol. I've had like 6 of those. 6 of those deaths in this game. Alright, cool. Missed that dead body. Sweet. Damn guy. I hate when there's someone and you know exactly where he is and you just can't. You can't do anything about it because they're better than you. You know? Oh. I may have put the final bullet in that guy. May have. They said it was going to be in parts. No one really understood what that meant. They hadn't talked about it in a very long time. They finally came out at one of the PlayStation State of Plays. Came out, talked about it, said, hey, we're still making it. Cool. People were excited. They said there was going to be more information in June. Square Enix was going to hold a real-life press conference for the first time in a while. Even though they had one last year that was like a kind of like a direct hybrid sort of thing, and it was fucking terrible. And they announced one because they have Avengers. Cool. They said that the game was going to... They said that I'm all over the place here. I think... Man, I'm very tired. People were anticipating information about Final Fantasy VII Remake. They came out, they said it was going to be on 2 Blu-ray discs. People, for some fucking reason, cheered. I think it's because there's like a weird gamer mentality of like, oh, the number's bigger than normal numbers, so there's more content to it. I don't know. It was a bit super bizarre. Like, they're like, we have so much content, we're going to have to use 2 Blu-ray discs. And a bunch of people were like, yeah, 2 Blu-ray discs. And I'm like, why do you give a shit about that? Anyway, this was merely the start of this conference's downfall. After the conference, they came out and they talked about how, like, they're not really sure how many parts this game is going to be in. This particular game that they demoed and that comes out on March 3rd only contains the section that's in Midgar. I don't know what that means. Apparently it's a very early section of the game. Talking to some people, reading some stuff about reading some things about that. Apparently it's not the full game, so it's whatever. I don't know. But listening to Square Enix just be like, yeah, we don't really know how many parts this game is going to be in, and it's like, what does this mean for this particular game? Like, how much is going to be there? And it's such a bizarre. I don't know how Square Enix is in business sometimes, where it's just like, what are you doing? This game's been in development for like 4 or 5 years, and they still haven't put it out, and it's still episodic, but they still don't know what it was. There was a story going around recently that one of the guys didn't even know he was working on the game. That may be an older article, but like, it's this utterly bizarre, odd development that doesn't make any sense. But people were excited about it. And then after this, there was nothing all that interesting until they announced Final Fantasy VIII, which normally I wouldn't care about. Final Fantasy VIII is a fascinating game to me, even not being a Final Fantasy fan, because it's been a game that people have wanted for a long time, and it's never been remastered. They remaster Final Fantasy games all the time. They recently put 7 and 9, 10 and 10-2, I want to say. They put all those games on the Switch, and I'm just gonna stop at Switch. They put 7 and 9 on Xbox One. For sure. I don't know about 10 and 10-2. But 8 has always been missing because of one of two things. That was an incredibly lucky kill. One of two things happened. Either the music rights were too expensive, or, and this is the far more interesting rumor to me, they lost the source code of the game. Like, it was just gone. But then all of a sudden, the second to final announcement they made was that Final Fantasy VIII is being remastered and it's coming out this year. So that's a huge announcement. Even as a person who doesn't care about Final Fantasy, like, I understand that people want that game, Final Fantasy VIII, and it is exceptional that it's coming out. So congratulations to everyone who wanted Final Fantasy VIII. Congratulations. Everything else in this show was a slog. Oh my god. They had Avengers, and they knew they had Avengers. So they knew they had extra eyes on it, so they shoved everything they could into that conference, and so much of it was way too long, including Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is a game that I'm interested in, because I think it's interesting, like an interesting concept, but the trailer was like 5.5 minutes. And it didn't seem to show much new information that was like new to Dragon Quest Builders 2. Excuse me, Dragon Quest Builders 2. And it just kept going and going, and it's like, oh no. And that was the one game, that was the game I was interested in, and that was too long. And there were like 3 or 4 more things that were just like, good God, like, you guys gotta be done at some point. Like, Avengers has to be coming up eventually, right? And so they announced a ton of remakes and remasters and ports, and it just, I don't know, what does that, let's see. Circuit Superstars. They talked about Dying Light 2, which I didn't realize they had, but we had already seen that at Microsoft's conference, so if they had maybe waited and not shown that at Microsoft's, could have been kind of a cooler surprise, but we knew that game was also out. The stuff that's coming to the West for the first time, which is great for that fan base, but whoo boy. I thought this conference was a total and complete slog. By far the worst. People were putting it at the top, and I don't understand how they were putting it at the top. I mean, obviously it's a subjective thing. Like, I get that. Fuck off. Where's that guy? Come here. See you later, man. And like, cool. If you're into it, you're into it. I am not into it, and it was very boring. To top it all off, though, I was very underwhelmed by the Avengers trailer. And another reveal, I should say. Another weird thing about Square Enix is they didn't explain what this game was, really. It seems like there's a multiplayer element, and it seems like there's a story element. like a single player story element, and it seems like it's an open world. God, what's the hip trendy live service? Live service. Seems like it's a live service game. I don't know, man. It is. What? It is bizarre. I also really wasn't feeling the trailer. I was like, this is not. I don't like the way it looks. It looks old. I didn't think the cinematics were all that interesting, and I don't know. It's just, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan in the world. I'm not the biggest Avengers fan in the world. It just didn't click with me, and then they didn't explain what the game was enough. And for them to have spent so much time with Final Fantasy VII, I think even with the middle being as boring and dull and sludgily slow as it was, I think if you ended it with like a 15 to 20 minute blowout of information to make it clear what type of game it is, show gameplay, do all that stuff, you could have left them with a much better impression in your mouth, or in my mouth, and they just didn't do that for me personally, which kind of sucks because I sat through like an hour of crap to be disappointed. I should have just watched the NBA Finals. And that one was the worst. Microsoft's was the best because it spoke to me the most probably, but I also thought their stuff was really good, and even their slow bits weren't that slow. I thought Bethesda did a good job supporting all of their games and bringing a lot of free content out. I thought that was good. So you can say the same thing about Ubisoft. I didn't really touch on it because I don't play the games, but aside from Rainbow Six, they talked about Division 2, which is getting a lot of new content. They talked about For Honor, which is getting new content. Rainbow Sixes keep going. I mentioned that because the new operator looked cool. Ubisoft's doing live service games very well. That's all well and good. I don't know. Probably go... Anyway, I haven't even talked about the last one. The final conference this morning was Nintendo. And there wasn't a ton of stuff that I was super interested in, which is fine. Yeah, you like that? You like that 5 shots to get that kill? Nintendo went this morning. It was a bit of a rough start for me personally because I don't care about Dragon Quest. And I don't care all that much about Smash, so then all of a sudden they're both together. Didn't do anything for me. We did finally get the Dragon Quest Age of Elusive whatever blah 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 definitive edition. Finally got a date for that. Cool. I thought Doug Bowser had a great intro. They actually they had like a fake what the hell am I talking about? Like computer animated King Bowser come out and be like, oh, I'm hosting the E3 conference, and they're like, no, our new guy Doug Bowser, and then he came out and it was very funny and cute. That was immediately followed by Luigi's Mansion 3, which I've never played the Luigi's Mansion games, but this one looked kind of cool to me. That one comes out in 2019, I guess. Hey, there we go. I actually hit the melee button the way I wanted to. And I don't know. There's something about it was just like clicked with me. They have a character in there called Gooigi for Smash. It's literally a gooey version of Luigi. I don't know. Seemed kind of interesting. I think Luigi's Mansion would be a good candidate for remastering both of their games for the Switch, so that you have the whole trilogy on one console. I originally in my notes wrote down that Luigi's Mansion were on both. Luigi's Mansion 1 was on GameCube, and Luigi's Mansion 2 was on 3DS. I guess they ported Luigi's Mansion from the GameCube to the 3DS, so you can get 2 of the 3 games on 3DS, so it's not as difficult as I thought to find. So you take that with, what you will. Damn it. Big game hunter. Bum, bum. Bum. Didn't seem like a lot of their games had dates. So Luigi's Mansion still 2019, but no date. No More Heroes 3, which is the next game I was going to talk about. Another good candidate for bringing all the games to Switch, porting them on over. Would be pretty cool. I died. Would be really, really awesome. I thought Link's Awakening looked fantastic. This one actually did have a date. It's September 20th. I've never finished a Zelda game. I've really only played Wind Waker. And maybe this is the first Zelda game I get into. I think it has a beautiful art style. And it's a super weird game, too, because it has some Mario elements to it. Like, there's chain chomps and weird shit. Like, it's super odd. I don't know. Just the more I see it, the more I'm like, do I want to play this? Do I want to play this game? I don't know if it'll fit into my quote unquote like schedule or whatever, but at least it's something that I would look at and be like, maybe, you know. Sometimes you just need that guy that's like, maybe. Probably not if you're a business though. You come here. Thank you. Pretty cool that The Witcher's coming. Fire Emblem finally got a date. Resident Evil 5 Resident Evil 5 and 6 had a terrible trailer. We just got a Pokemon Direct, so we didn't get much information on that. We know it comes out in November. Pokemon looks cool. They announced, I saw somebody tweeting that there was like a Shiba looking Pokemon that has like a heart on its butt or something. I don't know. It was weird and very cute though. Let's see, what else do we have here? Mario and Sonic, the Summer Olympics. They crammed a bunch of stuff into a montage right towards the end, and that's where a lot of these games came from that I have written down. What did I write down? I don't even know. But the montage they had some pretty cool stuff. Spyro Reignited's coming out in September. Some new Hollow Knight content, it looked like. Minecraft Dungeons. New Super Lucky's Tale, which is a port of the Xbox One game. That's pretty good. It's coming out. The Sinking City's coming to Switch. Wolfenstein Youngblood. Doom Eternal. Dragon Quest Builders 2. That was about it. I did notice that they're putting Ni no Kuni, which was a PlayStation 3 exclusive game, on the Switch. That sounds like actually a pretty tempting game to buy on the Switch. Ni no Kuni is a game that I've wanted to play. I have it on PlayStation 3. I can't find my PlayStation 3. So this would be a good alternative and just go pick that up. I actually have Ni no Kuni 2 sitting on my shelf behind me, unopened. Shocker. Because I never got to it. That comes out on the 20th, which is the same day Link's Awakening comes out. And then the two biggest announcements of the game, or of the show. One of them pertains to me and one of them doesn't. We'll start with the one that doesn't. There's a sequel to Breath of the Wild coming out. It broke the internet. It did absolutely nothing for me because I don't really care about Breath of the Wild or Zelda, but maybe Link's Awakening can get me into that sort of thing. And then the other one was a much cooler announcement. Banjo-Kazooie is coming to Smash, and that is awesome. I love the design of Banjo. He looks like the perfect candidate for a new like 3D sweet like mascot platformer game that I would totally play. I love a new Banjo game. It was, somebody posted that there was a rumor of that. That was a triple. Give me that triple. Hell yeah. Ooh, baby, a triple. At least I didn't die as in the middle of that meme. Come on out. Oh, that was nice. That was nice. So many people have gotten kills on me like that, where I'm like, I could make it across the gap, and then I don't. Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie looked awesome. I love the design. Something about it just looks like so cartoony and wonderful. I think it's fantastic. The final thing that I want to talk about is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which is a game that I'm excited for. It is actually why I am playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the Xbox One right now. So this comes in like a 3-part scenario. Marvel Ultimate Alliance comes out on July 19th. Oh boy, I hope I have that date right. Did I write it down? Hell yeah, I did. It's on the 19th. Sweet, I was right. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3? Sweet. Comes out in a couple weeks. I want to try and get through on both. Cyclops has always been a super weird character in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games for whatever reason. He was DLC in the first game, which made him a pain in the ass to come across. Because of licensing and downloads and blah 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 blah. Damn, I couldn't get that double. He is a character in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, but only on specific platforms. The PlayStation 2, the Wii, and the PlayStation Portable versions of that game. And so he is not in the 360 and PlayStation 3 games, which got the updated ports. So he is not in the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 that I would play on the Xbox One in preparation for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Okay. Part 17 of this. They announced an expansion pass today that features characters from X-Men, Marvel Knights, and Fantastic Four. I really hope Cyclops isn't a downloadable character again. Doing a little bit of digging on the internet, seems that Cyclops is in the game but as a non-playable character. I couldn't really find any information to back this up. I looked at a trailer. He was literally in a picture frame, and people were like kind of pulling from that and being like, this is what's happening, this is why he's a non-playable character. That's near as I could tell. Part 3 of this. Cyclops and Colossus, both featured in the Nintendo Treehouse E3 gameplay demo. They were not playable, but they were part of the story. I hope that they are not DLC characters, because I think, well, for 2 reasons. 1, because I want to play Cyclops, because I love Cyclops. And 2, because I think it would be weird if they had a character become playable after being in the game and like already being modeled and voice acted. Like, I feel like that would be odd. There's just something about that strikes me as not a good DLC idea. Oh, it broke my heart. I was like, oh my god, Cyclops, is he gonna join? Oh, they gave him like a character intro and everything, and then fuck, got defeated. And then he wasn't playable. So I don't know. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is weird because I feel like until I know if he's playable or not, I'm not actually going to play the game. And that's a super weird thing for an E3 thing to be like, oh, here's this game and it looks really cool and they have great characters, but then they're like, oh, but there's an expansion pass. How do I figure out if I want to buy it? So I'm probably not going to worry about playing that game the day it comes out, which is fine because there's a lot of other stuff to play. And I'll probably just buy it down the line. So, I don't know. Felt like E3 was for me personally. Like, there was some cool stuff. Watch Dogs was cool. Finally got Outer Worlds release date. We got confirmation of Halo coming out next year. Cyberpunk release date was huge. Doom looked cool. Deathloop was dope. Fallout 76 content made me think about playing the game. Battle for Bikini Bottom rehydrated. I don't know. There's a lot of cool stuff, but I didn't walk away with like, holy shit, here's these 3 or 4 things that I'm insanely excited for. I don't know. Outer Worlds is the game. It comes out in October. I don't know. Press conferences were good across the board. I'd go like Xbox, Nintendo's always so good with their stuff. Even if their games don't speak to me, they're so good at presenting them. Probably like Xbox, Nintendo, maybe Kind of Funny Game Showcase. I think they do a really good job with that stuff. Kind of Funny. Square would be the dead last. Dead fucking last. God, that was so bad. Who else is there? I don't even remember. Battlefield Bikini Bottom, probably #1 by itself. God, what a fucking sweet announcement. Like, what a cool... It's cool because, like, 1, it's a sweet game. 2, they're putting deleted content back into the game. And 3, they're gonna make a... There's a whole generation of kids who never even had the opportunity to play it. And now, through the magic of Xbox and me missing that Melee, they're gonna get to play it. Oh, that's so cool. Probably put Ubisoft 4th. I guess I don't know. I don't know how to rank them. Nobody really blew me away. Some companies or publishers had advantages just because of the stuff I liked. It's why I don't care for the Square Enix conference. It's why people do care about the Square Enix conference. See you. So, there you go. There's my thoughts on E3. What are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to me getting scared during Luigi's Mansion? Hell yeah. Oh, I forgot one game during the Nintendo conference. That I can't remember the title of. I need to look at my notebook. Fuck. Hey, shocker. I didn't prepare super well for this. Double kill. Astral Chain, that's what it's called. Astral Chain on the Switch looks freaking dope, and it comes out in August. Which is unfortunate. It comes out on August 30th, and Control comes out on August 27th. So it's like, ooh, Astral Chain or Fudge. Fudge. Do I play that or do I play Astral Chain? I'll probably play Control. I'd imagine Control's a shorter game. I love games that just take a weekend to, to finish. Like, Plague Tale. Plague Tale, hell yeah. Not every game needs to be a freaking 80-hour game as a service. Like, you can have stuff that's 10 hours and dope. Oh, I didn't see that guy there. He must have been up top. Astral Chain looked cool. What's it called? The trailer looked really good, and then the show Treehouse demo looked good as well. I can't believe I got that. That was insane. What are you doing on the floor? Looking all dumb with your pants on the ground. What a bizarre reference. It's 11:03. Guess who's gonna be fucking butt tired at work tomorrow? Me. I do it. I do it for the love of E3. E3 love. I'm really excited about Sinking City. That was in the Kind of Funny Game Showcase. I really liked their trailer at the game showcase because they, like, Kind of Funny was making fun of developer, like developer diary things, developer walkthroughs, and how they didn't have time for it, and then they, come here, power player. Oh, because this counts as a power weapon. But then they were like, hey, this is our developer walkthrough for Sinking City, and then it like locked up and then showed the game being all creepy and then came back at the end and was like, oh, thanks for watching. And it was only like, instead of it being like a 15-minute thing, it was like 2. I probably murdered the joke that they did with that. But Platinum 2. Cool. Cool. Oh, there it is. I thought I went 20-0. I did not do that. I went 20-9. Dope. That's a good number. Yeah, we'll leave matchmaking. Open some packs real quick, you know what I'm saying? Platinum pack. So, lots of cool stuff coming out. I'm really excited about the DLC for Forza Horizon 4 and State of Decay 2. That'll be on the channel this weekend. So, if you like that, hit the follow button and watch, because it'll be cool. I'm very excited about the LEGO stuff. The achievements are worth like 500 gamer score. Always good. Yeah. I'm excited to try State of Decay again. Maybe get me back into it. I don't know about long term, but I don't know. I also need to try and find time to burn through some Wolfenstein games before Youngblood comes out on the 26th. There we go. E3's been good so far. I said meh earlier. I mean, the stuff that was announced was cool, and a lot of cool games got release dates. But it was also a transition year. So, I don't know. New consoles are coming tomorrow. Next year. Next year's going to be freaking insane. We'll see if Sony comes back. I didn't really miss them, if I'm being honest. Square filled their spot. I don't know. Sony probably didn't have much to talk about this year, which is totally fine. Anyway, what we got was good. And, yeah. So those are my thoughts on E3 2019. What are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. It was a very long video. 1 hour and 17 minutes. Feels like the right amount of time for a gameplay of Halo 5 Guardians. Thank you for watching. If you're watching the stream or on YouTube, either is fine. Come check out the streams on Wednesday, which is going to be a Men in Black special. Friday, which is going to be wrapping up Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And Saturday, Forza Horizon 4 LEGO DLC. And Sunday, State of Decay 2 Heartland. Saturday stream is going to be early. It's probably going to be at like 8. Because got stuff to watch later. So, just keep that in mind. But, yeah, follow me here on Twitch. Subscribe on YouTube. And then follow me on Twitter, and you'll be all in the know. You can also follow me on Instagram. So, thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.